Howdy, y'all.
Oh, God.
Welcome back to Living the Dream, or howdy, ma'am, and howdy, sir. You gotta tip your hat, I think. Or maybe the women don't do that.
Girls don't
We gotta
do
watch more westerns. We are live, not when you see this though, from Lake Livingston in Livingston, Texas. Yeah, this is a state RV park.
Beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous. You're gonna see some video coming in above. Beautiful park, right on Lake Livingston, which is kind of big. You know, almost
Huge.
like that lake. Yeah,
oh
Lake
my God,
Pontchartrain.
Pontchartrain. Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, absolutely huge. Yeah. So we're going to talk to you guys as far as our travel here, a little campground review coming out of Florida. So everything that we're saying has nothing to do with coming down from the north or coming out of the west. It has to do with traveling westbound I-10. Easy peasy in a couple of overnights, Chattahoochee, Florida, and then another one in New Orleans. And then here we are, all Interstate 10, and then some U.S. routes to the actual campground, which was pretty easy. You
Yeah,
know.
it wasn't hard to find.
No, not your typical,
Just a
you know,
long
55,
day.
35, 45. You know, this was 70, 65,
75.
75. Yeah, so not too difficult. Any of the routes that you can use, whether you take that State Route 105 and you know, hook up with State Route 10 or 146, or you take Interstate 59, 69, etc. Either one of those routes will get you there and not have any concern at all with the big rigs that you're RVing with. So as far as the campground, you'll see some of the video coming in. Let's start off always like we do. How about the booking process?
It was so long ago.
It was
No,
long
actually,
ago,
it
but it was all
wasn't,
jacked up. We did this on a Saturday night about what?
Well,
a
we
year
were trying
ago.
to get everybody to book at the same time, make sure we were all together somewhat, and so it was a little bit of anarchy there.
Yeah, and you're going to see a little bit later on. There's 4 different loops that are in this campground. One of which is called Piney Shores, which is all full hookups. So 50 amp, 30 amp.
And right on the lake.
Yep, sewer
Right
and
on the
water,
lake.
and you'll see the video. It's right on the lake. Now, with that being said, right on the lake also means in direct sunlight with a temperature of 96 and a heat index of.
Went up to 112 when we first few days we came in.
Yeah, so
Just kept
110,
getting higher
112,
and higher.
yeah. So we're running all 3 air conditioners, all 15,000 BTUs times 3 at full throttle. They're set on high, they're not running on auto, and we may break out that 4th standalone air conditioner that we use to see just if we can offset some of this heat, because it is ungodly.
And coming from Florida, that's hot.
Yeah, it's not bad in the shade.
Actually, yeah, we
It's a balmy
when we first
91.
came in. Once the sun went down, we sat outside, and it wasn't too bad. Little buggy, but not as bad as I would expect for a state park.
Yeah, so
because you're in the middle of the woods. I mean, it's gorgeous there.
yeah, and offset, guys, right? So if you're in the middle of the woods, you got a lot of shade, you got a lot of bugs, all right? If you're out in the sun, you have no bugs, but you die of heat exhaustion. So like I said, so we're on the Piney Shores loop, full hookups, 50 amp, 30 amp sewer and water. Some of the other loops, the Hercules Club loop, the Red Oak loop, and the Briar
I think it was
loop.
Briar.
Yeah, we did, and again, you'll have to look at some video here. We did some video of those loops as well. Very, very minimal sewer.
Oh yeah.
Maybe the camp host gets sewer. The rest of the folks are roughing it. Okay, so we coined the phrase, you know, look before you book. Get
yeah,
on
for
YouTube,
sure.
or call the campground or whatever.
We did. And that's why we booked in the Piney Shores, because we knew they were full hookups in there.
Yeah, and
Plus,
we
it
have
was right
plans
on
of,
the lake.
Right, we have plans of launching the pontoon boat, the Sea Eagle, which never happened. Didn't even come off the trailer. But anyway, let's talk about something else. So the booking process went well. We wound up having a little bit of a glitch because they said they weren't able to book out more than like 8 or 9 months. When I actually had contacted them by phone, they said that that was not necessarily correct, and we were able to book 3 sites at the same time. And then folks were able to switch them out so that their credit card would be charged and they didn't have to pay back if they're trying to accrue those points or whatever. So that was pretty cool. Not difficult at all.
As a result of booking in Piney Shores, hindsight as it turned out, I was sitting out last night, and a gentleman walked by who was on one of the other loops, and there was almost always a constant breeze, like the whole time. And last night I'm sitting there, nice breeze. It's hot, but nice breeze.
It was very
and,
helpful.
Yeah, and he was saying that, well, it was compared to the two other loops where he
Yep.
had walked, and he had one of the sites back there said there's absolutely no breeze at all back there, and it was even more buggy than where we were. Usually the breeze or wind kind of keeps the bugs away a little bit, so it was
Yeah, but
fortunate that
it's
we booked there.
very aesthetically pleasing too. It's,
Oh,
it's
it's
a
beautiful.
beautiful
Really
park, man.
nice.
It's in the great state of Texas. So when we arrived, pretty easy. I believe that the ranger station was closed. It was a couple days ago, so I forget. And I
Yeah,
leaked
we
out
got in
and picked
late.
up all the paperwork, and we got up to our sites very easily marked. The signage is pretty good, but it is pitch black in there. So if you go in there after dark, the speed limit runs between 7 miles an hour to 20 miles an
20,
hour with
yeah.
a couple of 10-mile-an-hour roads, and I would really suggest dropping down to that 7, so you have time to respond to those signs, depending on what loop you are assigned and where you book. Plus, a lot of wildlife.
A lot of wildlife.
Yeah, a lot of, and you're going to see my
Very
little
friendly
buddy here.
squirrels, little deer.
Yeah, a lot of deer,
We
some
got
squirrels.
videos. Of
And some cats, right?
Oh,
Our
yeah.
neighbors behind us that were the camp hosts, Alan and Denise, they were actually able to capture a litter, Annis, I'm sorry, of 6 kittens.
Turned out to be 6 kittens.
Yeah,
Started
Mama.
out we thought there was 4.
Yeah, we thought there was 2 or 3, and there's a separate video for that. But all kittens are in custody, and Mama as well. So
Some have already been
you know,
adopted out. The
Yeah, our hearts-
SPCA is picking them up.
Our hearts go out to them. So a lot of boat traffic, a lot of fishing. I guess there's some catfish and there's some, some gar or something that Lonnie was talking about. But they fished a couple of days, some friends of ours, and they caught some small things that they released back into the lake. So let's talk about the store. The store is
Store's
kind of cute, yeah. And you'll
Yeah.
see that I'm rocking my Lake Livingston campground shirt here. Okay. So a little bit of nature tour in here, right? Are they crocodiles or alligators? So they got some baby, couple baby alligators, and I don't know what kind of snake he is. Oh, he's a corn snake. I think we got them back in Florida, right?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, this is just West Point.
True. That's a good point. I keep forgetting. It's actually quite a bit of stuff for a camp store that is inside a state park. Pretty cool. Not consistent with state campgrounds, though. It had a lot of cute stuff in
Yeah,
there.
it did. Most are
And some
just the
educational
very,
stuff.
Yeah, a lot of educational stuff. It had a whole little laminated like folder kind of thing, like a map. Only it was laminated, and it was all the birds in the area. And there were a lot of not just water birds, but swallows. And it was just pretty cool. Woodpeckers coming right up to us.
Some beefcake squirrels.
Yeah, some beefcake, because we were eating nuts, and they were like, "Hey,
Yeah,
give us
literally
some of
flexed
this."
up on us. But it was cute. They did have a captive corn snake and a couple little alligators, I guess,
Oh yeah, baby alligators. Yep.
at the store. And then, like I said, they had some camping supplies. They had some shirts, some magnets, things like that. So it was kind of nice to be able to have some, access to things if you need it. Unlike most state campgrounds, it did have coffee available as well
Yep,
for a price.
yeah. Most
Um,
state campground stores have bare minimum. You might be able to get some wood, maybe some charcoal briquettes, or, but this really had a lot of cute stuff in there, little toys and stuff for kids.
And some one-stop shopping, right? So they did have a swimming area. They did have a dog park area. They had a really nice seawall that you could fish from, and that
Yep.
pretty much
Yeah,
ran the whole
it was nice.
length of at least the park side of things. And you'll see some drone video also when I flew the drone about some houses across the lake and so forth. But a nice area to walk, some nice trails. We did not get an opportunity to hit the trails, but I think each loop had at least 1 or 2 trails on it.
Yeah, they had, and they were different distances. So, if you wanted to do a 5-mile hike, there were trails for that. Then there were a couple trails that were maybe like half a mile. And they give you a map when you check in, and on the map it has all the specified trails and what the distance is for them. The only drawback that I saw with that is the sites, most of them were very narrow.
Yeah.
So you could just get your RV in, but then you're, trying to get into it and your steps might come off the
Pavement.
the pavement, yeah. But other than that, very nice. I mean, picnic
Yeah.
tables at all the sites.
So let's talk
fire pits, stuff like that.
Talk about the sites for a bit. And this was pretty consistent throughout all of the loops. So the sites, long enough to fit this 45-foot
Beast.
RV in, but everything needs to be on the pavement.
Yeah,
And
there's
the
signs all
are
over the
all
place
over the
telling you
place.
that.
Yep. So do not put your trailer on the dirt. Do not put your trailer on the lawn. Don't hang a tire over off the pavement. Everything. So when you, again, guys, look before you book, or know before you go. All right. When you look at this, make sure that everything you're bringing with you will fit on the pad. Now, the state campground staff suggested they don't really mind, but the park administration, who they say frequent the park, whether they have enforcement powers or not, I do not know, are the ones that are going to do something to make you move that vehicle. And I would be hesitant to think they'd let you slide. I mean, there are a couple of overflow parking areas. I'm not sure if they would let you put a trailer in there. We didn't see anyone do that. So just be mindful of that. One of the things that we had site 70, so we would have some access to the boat ramp and the showers, and the bathrooms were right behind us. But you weren't able to put the picnic table next to you. It was actually in the rear of the RV. And again, with most of the bugs and stuff, we didn't get an opportunity to sit out there at all. As far as the bathrooms and the showers, I'm going to give you a no-go.
Well, they're for the lake, so people come in from swimming in the lake and shower. Not the kind of shower you would expect if you stayed at not even
resort?
necessarily like a resort. They were just very
I think
generic. They weren't.
but not kept up very well.
No,
I mean, they had
no.
some graffiti that was just grinded off. It
Yeah,
wasn't
I
painted.
mean, it
So
wasn't-
that doesn't matter. But if you're going to use those facilities, with a heat index that's so high, you would probably have at least some type of ventilation or air conditioning in there, and that didn't
Oh
exist.
yeah, there was
So
no
you- yeah.
ventilation at all either.
You'd come out of the shower or the bathroom and you'd probably be, dripping wet again. So that's going to be a no-go unless it's something that you're doing quickly, like Marge said. Maybe hosing off.
Or even if
after
you're
the-
out fishing and you just want to hose off, but I wouldn't
before you
recommend
go
it
back.
to bring your stuff to shower.
No, it just food for thought. And we're not snobs. We just, that just didn't work for us. Sites were level, no issue getting
Very
level.
level.
Any one of us, all three of us, and we caravanned out there with the Wandering Wades and the Taylor's Travels. Nobody had any issues with getting their site. Nobody had any issues with leveling or things of that nature. So it was a pretty cool park. We're actually happy that we're here. It's kind of exciting. We'll be out of here in a day or two. And then we'll be heading back east. We'll be eastbound and down.
Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking.
Loaded up and trucking.
Back to New Orleans.
Back to New Orleans, and then back to Chattahoochee, and then home. A couple of days off before we head out to the next adventure, which is Lake Louisa State Park in Claremont, Florida. So really nice park. Again, Lake Livingston, Texas State Park, about an hour and a half or 2 hours north of Houston. Very nice. I don't really have much else to say negative,
No,
if
it was
anything.
like, again, it was beautiful. The only things like I said, the showers and the sites are very. We did notice when we were out walking that there were a couple of sites that were almost double wide. So, but that was it wasn't on any.
I think it was on the Red Oak Loop, and they
some of
didn't
the other
have
loops.
sewer. Yeah, so you got to decide
Yeah, so
what
you got to figure
really,
what's more important to you.
what's important, and so forth.
Very
and if you're not,
well kept park. They're they're not very, but they're strict with all their policies and so on there, which is good. I mean, it's a nature place, so you want to protect the nature.
and a huge shout out to all the camp hosts. I mean, they were out literally busting their butt.
And it's hot.
Weed whacking,
It's hot.
mowing the lawns, and actually Al and Annis that were our camp hosts for our loop were the ones who actually rescued those cats. They were out there. I mean, working.
Oh yeah, they got a fan out there with ice, keeping.
But
the
I mean, I'm
cat-
talking
the
about their
cats
work
cool.
as
Oh,
far
yeah,
as
and
keeping
working,
those
yep.
bathrooms up, and so on and so forth. So shout out to all those camp hosts that actually get out there in that heat and work, and keep us, safe and healthy and happy so that we can continue to RV. So that's really it, guys. Like, subscribe, share the channel, jump over to our Facebook page, which is simply Living the Dream YouTube. You'll see a lot of fun stuff going on over there. You can post some adventures that you're doing. We'd love to hear from you. Again, give us some ideas on what you think we can do. As long as it's not crazy, we'll probably give it a shot. We're not slapping any bulls, I'll tell you right now. It's not gonna happen. Maybe a chicken. Yeah. We'll probably get copyright infraction for that. So until then, keep living the dream, and we'll talk to you guys super soon.
Ciao.